Am I gonna buy it at retail? Hell no. Buy me, buy me, buy me, buy me. Grab, grab, Hey, it's Chris. Wish lists, right? They're always constantly changing. What is new? What is hot? Or what's caught your eye? Or what's caught your eye that you overlooked previously, that you weren't aware of, that you now know that you like, that you didn't like previously as well? Right? Am I right? So again, one of those videos where I say, okay, reviewer hat off, right? Consumer Chris taking over and saying, this is where my head's at. This is what is on my radar. This is what I want, right? Because I think there's always that question. There's always that question. Is he talking about this game because he really likes this game? Is he talking about this game because he was sent this game? Is he talking about this game because he really just freaking wants it and enjoys it in the first place? Or is he being told to do so? Right? Well, no, not in this case. This is my hot list. My hot list, my wish list. Let's go. And this segues just to a nice brief interlude here where I'm going to also say I did the don't buy it at retail. Don't back it at all. Don't wish list it. Counterpoint to some of the hotness that is going to end up on your list. And I'm going to tell you, don't wish list this. That was a tongue twister. Took a couple takes to say. So what's actually on my wish list though? A little bit of released, a little bit of upcoming released, a little bit of crowdfunding, a little bit of, well, it's already available. And why haven't you pulled the trigger yet, Chris? Because again, as you know me, I have a terrible, as Charles Barkley would say, track record. My track record at retail, it looks like Charles Barkley's golf swing, if you're familiar with it, right? So that's why I'm always a little hesitant to actually pull the trigger on that side of things. I have no problems going, $100+ pledge for DC United and then upgrading to an all-in later in the pledge manager. But boy, howdy, I don't know if I can even, get anywhere close to the free shipping threshold on retail side of things, let alone above that and beyond that, right? Because mental block. Are you me? Let's go. Number one. Shortly after the time of this airing, within, say, a month, right? We'll say. I have no idea what the status of this is. It's probably not going to be as expansive as I would like, truth be told, right? But Tales to Amaze, Restoration Games. We are going to see the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle version of it. Gen Con had a sample. I'm assuming it's in the hands of all the previewers getting paid dollars to talk about it right now. And so I can't wait to see what they've got in store. I want to see it, right? I did not, transparency, right, back that the first time around. I said, meh, I'm not on the Unmatched bandwagon. I said, meh, I don't really need those miniatures. I traded for that copy sitting up there. That is the Kickstarter version. I traded for it. Because as I will say, is the point number one in this video as a whole. If you're watching this and you're going, I want those games, Chris, don't buy them. Find somebody to trade for them, right? You just saw Gen Con. You just saw the Gen Con haul pictures and videos and smorgasbords of, I got everything amazing. I got it before you. Content, right? And guess what? Shortly around the corner, you're going to see the same thing with Essen. The same motherfucking thing. And guess what? If you get somebody's copy that you trade for, you're not going to get it that much later than someone who got it originally. So unless this gives you incentives wazoo-wise, don't worry about backing it. But that's going to be the conundrum, right? Are they going to go that model? Because again, truth be told, I'm not sure I'd back it for just that model. Again, and this is one of those videos where like, I don't count on getting review copies of this stuff so that I can say, hey guys, I'm not backing anything, right? I still love backing stuff. It's just harder and harder nowadays, as I talked about in one of the other videos about exclusives versus price discount versus get it earlier. Like, where do you draw the line? And again, I say, do you? But that's going to be the question, right? I want more than two bosses. I want, what I really want, Masmoria. Do you remember Masmoria from Simon, right? It was the Brazilian port. But what was really freaking sweet about that The implementation was a little wonky, no lie. What they allowed for was importation of the Arcadia Quest characters with a conversion pack. So what I'd love to see, what I would absolutely pay to see and to get with this, but not really just this, with the other Unmatched, is a conversion kit to turn the other characters from anything to bosses, right? I would throw money at the screen for that. Truth be told, it would have made this list if it actually had a release date, and it probably wasn't like December of The Witcher Unmatched. So again, those are going to be coming out on a video like this later this year. But no details, couple characters, board or two. Meh. You know, what are they actually going to choose? How obscure are they going to go? You know, slings and arrows kind of went that way with Shakespeare. Again, not saying that as a negative, right? Saying that as a, you know, I don't have a freaking clue what to expect. And that's the other thing I worry about with this, is it's going to be more like Marvel Dice Throne, right? The X-Men, the original, whatever it may be, right? I give Simon kudos in some sense, one, the conversion pack, but two, with DC and Marvel United, right? They could have said, you know what, let's just stick to the most recognizable of all the recognizable and only do that, right? And they went deep into the pocketbooks, metaphorically speaking, because I don't know how you do that literally. That'd be an interesting conundrum, literally. Anyway, squirrel. Anyway, so where I'm going with that, though, is that they didn't. They gave you a ton of content from characters, villains, bosses, things all over the place. I would love to see that with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? There is so much lore for the picking. So much. I mean, yeah, you're going to get your 4 turtles. Yeah, maybe a Splinter. Yeah, maybe a Casey Jones. Maybe an April O'Neil. I don't want to see April O'Neil as a character, though, to be frank with you. What's she going to do? Toss her like huge video camera 80s 90s style at the enemies? Like, no. But give me Bebop, Rocksteady, that's fine. Shredder, Krang, which apparently are going to be in there, at least I think some of the comments and, you know, even the board game description. But give me like the Mech Turtle. Give me like some of the ones from like the video game classic that go into some of the lore. Give me some of the stuff from the new comics, right? Give me something from the umpteenth iteration of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles a la Scooby-Doo that you see it get canceled every 2 to 3 years and get cycled and repeated, right? That's literally just one released on like Paramount or something right now as a new series completely as a whole. But give me something freaking good there. More than just surface value. I'd like to. Again, if it's just surface value, I'll probably still be very, very interested. But I'd like more, right? I'd like the bar to be set a little bit higher in that way. So we'll see. That's why I'm so pumped because, you know, truth be told, again, I have both of the Unmatched promo characters. I got Deadpool, bought it at retail when it came out. I was one of those people. And then I just recently traded for Bruce Lee. Freaking sweet. So now I'm just slowly piecemealing my collection, but I'm in no hurry because I'm, you know, still piecemealing it, right? No FOMO. So number two. I mean, it's making waves. It's been on the hotness now for weeks. Lord of the Ring Duel for Middle-earth, right? Again, I enjoyed Seven Wonders Duel. I didn't enjoy it as much, conversely, without an expansion. It got a little rote repeat, kind of samey for me without an expansion. And it felt like, especially like first roundish, my wife and I going through the motions. Again, that's going to be controversial. People are going to hate at me. People are going to say, you're not drafting right. You're not metaing right. You're not take thatting right. Whatever, right? But it just didn't give me that spark that gives me joy, as they say, right? So I want to see what you can do differently with this. And the fanboys are fanboying all over it right now, right? The folks who have had playtesting. Will I end up with a copy? Probably. Am I going to buy it at retail? Hell no. But I'm going to end up with it because somebody is going to buy it because they're going to look at this just like they do a lot of games, right? This is a whole nother video. Games that you should never have bought. Games you regret buying. And the vast majority of it is, I thought this game was this. Insert whatever, right? And in this case, it's Lord of the Rings. I thought Lord of the Rings was going to be super thematic with the Seven Wonders Incorporation. If you want super thematic, go, spend 3 to 4 hours learning War of the Ring, and then spend 3 to 4 hours teaching someone how to play it, and then spend 6 months playing it repeatedly to get your money's worth thematically incorporated. But that's what you're going to do. Otherwise, you go for something like this that gives you accessibility and some solid but shorter gameplay mechanics. What's the twist? I don't know. I haven't been reading through the forums. I haven't seen any video content. You know, maybe there's stuff out there time me filming this. But you know what? It's sort of like Star Wars Unlimited at the same time, right? I don't want every card revealed to me. I would like a little bit of surprise in a good way. But that's a little bit of me, not you. The other one, this one has my eye because I'm a simp for a lot of their stuff, right? Level 99 games. Spooktacular. It gives me sort of Rampage meets, you know, like the classic video game where they climb up the buildings and smash it like this. They go, bah, 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 grab, bah, bah. You know what I'm saying, right? Meets King of Tokyo. And I'm not sure that's a fully apt comparison because, again, what's in my head and what it actually is, those two things aren't always aligned. And a lot of viewers are going, oh yeah, I'm a longtime subscriber and boy howdy is he crazy like that. So I want to see what they can do with this because this speaks to my sensibilities, right? If you watched my 10 best games of 2024 so far, which I argue, what is the technical definition of best, right? It's like basketball's most valuable. How do you define it, right? Is it the game that is most fun? Is it the game that's most mechanically solid? Is it the game that you just can play the best and the most and get the most use out of, right? How do you define it? And as always, right, there, people are like, oh yeah, this guy's crazy. He defines it all sorts of weird ways. He does not define it the usual way. Like, that's me. So I want to see side trail, bunny, squirrel, what Spooktacular can do from level 99 games. But I'm intrigued. I have a type. You're just, you know, cinema movie monster and trying to devour people. I don't know. Sounds like a good rolling time, if you will. So that's why it made the list. Ever see that Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens? You just made the list. Anyway, random wrestling reference there. So we'll stick with it. So again, Slay the Spire, right? Slay the Spire. It's still on my wish list because I feel like it would be something slightly more game groupy, but also, again, I want to experience what other people are experiencing, right? That's the reason you're watching this. That's the reason you watch other people's lists. That's why you watch other people play things, whatever it may be, right? Because they're enjoying it to that extent. That's why my kids watch these Minecraft videos, these Preston plays, people, things, other people doing Minecraft. I don't even know their names. But they want to get that excitement because, well, truth be told, on a lot of those videos, they're completely and utterly freaking faked. And they're yelling because they can fake excitement and it makes kids excited. But in these videos, like, I'm actually super excited about this. And I see that's what's going on with Slay the Spire. I see that going on around me and I'm going, I want that. But is it going to give that to me? And that's why ultimately, as I've said a couple of other times, a couple of other places, a couple of other videos, I have not been able to pull that literal, metaphorical trigger on the shipping retail basket. You know, I've had it in, a shopping cart of at least 2 or 3 different online retail web game stores, if you will. But that's the issue, right? Like $103. But again, like Dutch Me is going conservatively frugal and saying you have Slay the Spire for like $5 and your Switch and you're not playing that very much recently at all. So go play that instead of spending $100 on this, which you're going to play even less. Ooh, that's a dagger to the heart when I say it out loud, right? That's why it's still on the wish list and not the clicked under own on my Board Game Geek profile. It's fighting words for myself right there. So, the one game that came out of Gen Con that I said, I am going to own this game. I know the hand didn't kind of go with the words there, but I kind of just, kept it steady and this kept moving. Anyway, where I'm going with that, though, is not the game, but the gang. And not as in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but as in the gang, the gang, the gang. And a light game style card game with just a nice dynamic and a nice flow and a nice player count and ease of accessibility, right? If you watched my top 10 so far of 2024, my main criteria for a majority of those games was not, this is the most absolute technical masterpiece, solidly mechanical, game that I have ever played that is better than anything else that you will ever experience, and it's giving me an orgasmic hopium joy bliss, whatever you want to call it, right? It was, wow, I can get this game played. Wow, when I don't feel like playing a game, this is one that really strikes my fancy. Wow, this one is easy to get to the table. Wow, this one is easy to learn. Wow, I can play this with lots of frickin' people. And that's where this one is. And it also happens to be, you know, about $15 or 21 if you want the mini expansion. You want to buy it from the publisher's website right now because it's pre-ordering, I think, available in September. So, yeah, right? Bank heists, card, cooperative, you know, poker style, Texas Hold'em. It gives me Scout vibes. Scout meets crew vibes, if you will. I'm not saying mechanically speaking, but just you play it and people love it. Non-gaming people love it. And that's a big frickin' factor. Because, you know, as they say all the time, right? You see these posts on Reddit and they go, I can't get people to play with me. How do I get people to play with me? How do I get my friends to be board gamers? How do I? Well, truth is, you don't grab Age of Innovation. You don't grab Dwellings of Elderville. You don't grab Earth. They may be the best games of all time. But you don't grab that and bring that out to, you know, someone who hasn't played stuff before. You grab this. You grab something like this. Again, know your audience, not just what you want to play. And this is, you know, a perfect part of the Venn diagram of both in that sense for me. Yeah, he circled back around and made it work. Boom, you boys, back in action. Then, OP. OP, as my kids would say. That's OP, bro. In this case, though, we're going with the OP, the company, right? The publisher. Because the overlooked, reasonably so, because of its gameplay that kind of leaves you wanting a little bit after you've played it a few times. Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle, right? Aang's Destiny. It's Avatar The Last Airbender remake of that. You know? The criticisms, the faults of that game are very obvious. They're very intuitive. They're very surface level. And I just look at this and I go, please, please don't be a straight reskin. Please, please don't be a straight reskin. Please, please don't be a straight reskin. Please address the criticisms, right? I need a market that can be shuffled. I need a way of mitigation. I need a player count dynamic that's going to change things a little bit more. I need some culling easier of my deck in the first place. I need something else mechanically a little bit deeper, a little less randomness. Please do that. Because Avatar The Last Airbender, again, is one of those IPs that you look out right now. And actually, there's like 3 games coming out this year. I think like 1 or 2 are in crowdfunding as well. It's one of those IPs that is begging for someone to do something tremendous with it, right? Something freaking amazing. And it has yet to be achieved. And that's basically because of lack of trying. Because I think, again, somehow these IPs, these massive IPs that you're seeing, again, get splattered all over the board, right? Like One Piece even, like the Netflix, and they're remaking the anime into a non-filler version to make it actually watchable and not like 6,000 episodes. So that it takes like 3/4 of your life to actually watch it, right? And someone was just commenting online that like at some point, somebody in the future, as we're all sitting here waiting right now, somebody in the future is actually going to start the series knowing what the One Piece actually was, dude. Like, whoa, trippy notion, man. Anyway, side diversion tangent there. Where I'm going with that though is you're seeing that Netflix wise, and now you're going to see hopefully some of this get ported over to our media. And I think that's, what we're seeing, right? You had the animated, you have the live action. We don't talk about the other movie. And then you have now this. So will we see more? I want it to be more than the blank Rising games where there are just this slight twitch, reskinning, retheme of whatever. Give me more awesomeness. And my kids are huge fans. So that would be an easy hit the table factor. Easy over anything else on this list already to this point, period. Invincible, the deck building game. Right? Truth be told, I've watched a single episode of Invincible. I'm familiar with the concept. I've read through some of the wiki, and I know of it. Read a little bit of the comic lore, background stuff, because I was just curious, right? So I know like the basic outline of a lot of the stuff, just on the surface level. But I was like, is this one of those, speaking of IP grabs, like IP grabs in a deck building thing? And truth be told, early comments and reviews are actually like, hey dude, this is a pretty good game actually from a deck building standpoint, speaking of a previous deck builder that we have questions about. And again, it's at retail right now. And again, I'd be lying to you if Board Game Bliss email from last month didn't have both Slay the Spire and Invincible, the deck building game, in it, and I clicked both of them and added both of them in my cart and was wondering if I should do it because that would easily put me over the free shipping threshold, even from Canada, right? Whew. But clearly, since I'm talking about both those games on this list as well, I did not do it. Is it super, innovative? I don't think so. Is it just pretty solid linking campaign style scenarios together? Yeah, people seem to really kind of like it so far. Can I give you any more detail? Because I haven't really looked into the gameplay that deeply at this point. No. But overall reviews are positive. I think the Board Game Geek score is over 8 at this time. So, that's not insignificant. Now, again, how much of that is biased, just like we were talking about with Seven Wonders and the Lord of the Rings style of things, because, again, the only people that are going to be like super speaking highly of that right now are probably the people who were trying it out, and they were trying it out because they really wanted to love it in the first place, and because they really wanted to love it, it probably rates a little bit higher in their mind, as well as we always accuse crowdfunding backers of doing with their games when they back it and, put that much money into it, right? Whether or not you believe that fully, that's, a little bit of the bias you just got to be aware of. Not saying you have it, but being aware of it helps prevent it in the first place, whether or not you have it. So there you go. And that's why we're talking about it. Then. Shouldn't have this on the wish list yet. Shouldn't have it on the wish list. Should not. It's not going to be out until September, November? I don't know, whatever it is. Something around there. September, I think it is right now. Cult of Chrome. Radlands. Radlands, Cult of Chrome, Cult of Hype, Cult of Hotness, Cult of Now, Cult of FOMO, Cult of Buy Me, Buy Me, Buy Me, Buy Me. And again, it's like that Game Nerds thing I was just mentioning a couple minutes ago. It's that, you look at it and you go, this is really cheap, right? Just like the Gang. Like, I can pre-order this. It's just really cheap, right? Okay. Now, again, this is probably a game you'll never trade for unless you get it in a bundle because, the cost of shipping alone is going to eat any profit or, push you in the negative. So you're probably going to have to buy it, but just wait, because you might also wait 6 months or a year on this and pick it up off Amazon for $6, or pick it up off of one of these other sales from one of these other websites when they bundle stuff, or when they, do mass sellings and the price all of a sudden drops. That's what you do. And that's where you get it. Can you wait though? Can you get more camps for Radlands? You haven't played Radlands in the last 6 months. You don't need it. Ha! You're not me. Fighting words. The other one that is upcoming on crowdfunding. I don't know about this. I have strong feelings. You've heard me talk about it. Again, I'm going to include it because I don't have enough crowdfunding games on this list, but that's Madcala from Druid City Games, right? I just have mixed feelings about it. There's been little to no information, and there's one playthrough on Board Game Geek from a couple months ago. And I look at this and I go, this is either going to be a tremendous, utterly, sort of square peg and square hole fit for me, or it's going to be a complete and utter miss. And I don't really know where it's going to fall in between. But you tell me 20 minutes for this, 2-player dueler, right? I have a type, in case that's not clear. It's not blonde, it's not brunette, it's this. And so that's why it has to be talked about on my radar. I just don't know what else to say about it. I want to see, but again, with Druid City, last couple campaigns, the Wonderlands War situation, it was pretty aesthetic. And a lot of people love that game. I like the idea of it better than I like the actuality of it. Because the main reasons you got it on crowdfunding in that sense where you got these ugly plastic miniatures as opposed to the really freaking cool standees, right? You know what team I'm on. And then you got the deluxeified chips that eventually all went to, some sort of limited retail availability, which is still selling, for markup on the secondary market right now. That's the reason you got it. And I'm looking at Madcala. I'm looking at Unmatched that we talked about at the beginning of the video. And I'm going, why? Why crowdfunding? Not that, but why me back you on crowdfunding, right? This is not reviewer, Chris. This is consumer, customer on that side of the screen, Chris, going, I want to support your product. Give me an incentive to do so, especially when I can't tell whether or not it's right for me and I'm giving you a free loan, Chris. So we'll see. The last one, I have to put this one out there because Well, not because it's one of the top games on my wish list. Not because it's going to be available sooner than these games, because truth be told, it's not. It's not going to be available until probably like, I think, November now. But I've been so interested in this, right? Like, I don't talk about games like this on this channel a lot because I know a lot of you aren't interested. But I'm going to include it just to say, ha, it's my channel, I can do what I want. Matrix, GIPF, the GIPF series, right? I love abstracts. I love abstracts. It gives you a new abstract game. It gives you more options for Dvan, Punkt, Zerts, Yinch, and Tomsk. I only own Zerts and Yinch, but I could easily pick up Dvan, Punkt, or Tomsk at any point. I love Tsar the best. Tsar is clearly the best GIPF game. I'll fight you in the comment section to, prove that you're wrong. But also, Board Game Geek actually agrees with me. So, ha, suckers. Anyway, but that gives you a new game. And you know what, Chris Byrne, I put wholehearted trust in you to put out something amazing with this one. And it's been delayed several times from Hutch, the publisher. And so, I don't care. Just make it freaking awesome when it comes out. That's all I care about. So that is why it is the last one on the wish list, number 10, if you will. Again, a few other things I'll throw out there that are getting released between now and the end of the year that are going to, not make the cut, but also make the cut at some point, right? Just briefly going over them. Santorini, the Pantheon edition from Roxley. Late pledges is still open. They reopened it or something. Tempted because you can get it in with some of their other products, I think, from the other pledge managers. My wife hates Santorini. I love it. I'm not a huge fan of this puzzle mode, so I'm kind of tempted, but also kind of not tempted. Never been able to pull the trigger. Then you have King of Tokyo Duel, right? Is it going to be more King of Splendor Duel, if you will, if I'll make that comparison? Splendor Duel, which is much better than the actual Splendor if you're looking for a deeper mechanistically speaking game. I think that's going to be fantastic. I mentioned the Unmatched Witcher scenarios, and then Guilty Gear from Level 99 Games. We've already talked about one of theirs as well. Truth be told, the only one that, may be a surprise, that may not be a surprise to you as well, is I have yet to trade, I have yet to buy, I have yet to acquire a copy of SkyTeam as a, lover of two-player games, as a lover of hard cooperatives, as a mainstay of my wife and I's playtime with the games like this. I have yet to acquire in any shape or form in that sense. So that has to be on the list. Avalon the Riven Veil, again, as a huge crowdfunder, as one of probably the biggest crowdfunders of the year, that one's on the radar. But again, like gameplay specific, still unknown at this point. Could see myself coin flipping from that aspect of things. And then Star Trek Captain's Chair, again, same sort of similar scenario with the Imperium situation, right? If you can do a Horizons as opposed to a Classic and Legends, I'm all over it. But if you can't, I'm going to be watch and wait. Then similarly, again, just like with SkyTeam, I still don't freaking have a copy of Harmonies. Is it going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread, or is it going to be the next Faraway? Just kidding. I liked Faraway, but I know a lot of other people didn't like Faraway, and they said it was whatever, right? And that's the comparison that Harmonies is getting to Cascadia. Some people are like, it's absolutely just like Cascadia. I love it just like Cascadia. And the other divisive crowd is going, I hate it just like I hate Cascadia in the first place. So take that for what you will. And that's about it right now. Again, there's just a lot of unknown between now and the end of the year. I'm not even talking about the other stuff like Cyberpunk 2077 from Go On Board, Railroad Tiles, any of the things like that. The Black Forest, which is one of the bigger Essen hotness hits right now. Again, whatever else with, Emberleaf from Frank and City of Games. Those folks, those games. Again, there's just so much out there that is interesting, but that's why I had to cut it short, because otherwise this video could be like literally an hour long, and you don't want to listen to me ramble about things I love for an hour. But if you do, and you think I should do a long form video of something like this, let me know in the comment section down below as well. That's it. That's all I got. Been talking for too long, like I said. So what's on your wish list right now? And what's going to be on my not wish list? Tune in and see. Subscribe if you want to know why you shouldn't get games as well, right? That's what I talk about on this channel. This game isn't right for you. You know what? Do it. I dare you. Peace out. Stay classy.